Welcome to this primer on graphs. In this lecture, we'll learn the notion of connectedness of a graph, which is a fundamental notion associated to any graph. And all we need to know is just the definition of what is a graph. So let me not recall that and move on. So we start with a puzzle. To motivate the notion of connectedness, we will resort to this puzzle. This is a very, very simple puzzle. You can solve it without knowing anything about graphs or any such thing, but still it helps to illustrate as to why do we even need the notion of connectedness. So something has been written here. Let me not read that. Let me just explain the problem verbally, and if it is still not clear, you can pause the video and read that. So basically there are 9 cities. They have names. The names are actually numbers 1 to 9. And there is an airplane route connecting a city to another city if and only if the 2-digit number that you form using these two numbers is divisible by 3. So for example, 1 and 2, the 2-digit number that you can form out of it, or the 2-digit numbers that you can form out of it are 1, 2 and 2, 1. So 12 and 21. If one is divisible by 3, then the other will also be divisible by 3, because divisibility by 3 only demands that the sum of all the digits is divisible by 3. Okay, so if you pick 2 cities, and if the number formed by putting their digits side by side, the 2-digit number formed by putting these numbers side by side is divisible by 3, then there is an airplane route connecting the 2 cities, otherwise there isn't. So there is an airplane route between these two, but not between these two, because 13 is not divisible by 3, and so on. So the question is, can the traveler go from city 1 to city 9 using only airplane routes? So that is what we want to answer, yes or no. Okay, we will come back to this puzzle. Before we solve this, we will develop some concepts. So we will talk about what is a walk in a graph. So fix a graph G. Then a walk in G is a sequence of vertices V1, V2. Maybe it's best to start with V0. Give me a second. V0, V1, V2, up to Vn, such that so it is a sequence of vertices such that adjacent vertices in the sequence are connected by an edge. So there is an edge with the adjacent vertices as endpoints. So that's a walk. We will look at examples, but this is the formal definition. And by convention, just a single vertex, if we just write a vertex V, that is also considered a walk. Okay, so that's that. And we have this notion of the length of a walk. So the length of this walk is n. When you see n plus 1 vertices forming a walk, then the length of the walk is n. Because you're using n edges, basically you're taking n steps, you can think of it that way. You start with this vertex, you take one step, then you take another, then you take another, then you finally reach the destination. Okay, so I don't want to formally write down what is length of a walk. Alright, so now let's take some examples. Here we have a graph. So let me illustrate. So this sequence A, B, G, E, and again a G. So vertices can repeat. Here we are not demanding that these are distinct vertices. They may repeat. So this is a walk. Why is this a walk? Because from A you can go to B in one step, then G, then E, and then again back to G. So this is a walk. Another walk is A, D, A, B. This is also a walk, because A and then you can go to D, then again back to A and B. Following is not a walk. A, G, A, G is not a walk, because you start with A, but then you cannot go to G in one step. A is not connected to G. So this is not a walk. And finally, to drive the point home, this single vertex is also a walk. It's a walk of length 0. Right? So it's a very, very simple notion, walks. And now let's move on. So yeah, maybe I should also mention. So a walk from X to Y. So we have defined what is a walk, but so a walk from X to Y, where of course X and Y are vertices, is a walk which starts at X and ends at Y. So these are called the starting and the ending points, and a walk from X to Y is just a walk whose starting vertex is X and the ending vertex is Y. So in these examples, this is a walk from A to G, this is a walk from A to B, this is not a walk, so we can't talk about it. This is a walk from A to A. Alright, now we can move on. So what is a connected graph? Given a graph G, we say G is connected if there is a walk from any vertex to any other vertex. Right? So it's a very obvious definition. And here is an example of a connected graph. You pick two vertices, let's say this and that. There is a way to walk from the first to the second. This and that, of course, you can walk. So this is a connected graph. While this is not a connected graph, because if you pick this vertex and that vertex, there is no way to go from B to F using a walk. You're always trapped inside this region, no matter what you do. And these two vertices you can never touch if you start at B. So this is not a connected graph, while this was a connected graph. Okay. Now for the notion of components. So again, fix a graph G. Then we will define a relation on the vertex set. And if you want to brush up on the notion of relations, you can look at my primers on relations, available in the same playlist as this one. The playlist named Kickstart, I mean. So we will define a relation tilde on V as follows. For X and Y in V, we write X tilde Y if there is a walk in G, of course, from X to Y. That's it. So here is an exercise. Check that. This is an equivalence relation. It is clearly reflexive because you can just consider this walk. Given any vertex, this walk of length 0 is a walk from X to X, so reflexivity is clear. And I leave the proof of symmetry and transitivity to you. So this is an equivalence relation. And a component, or rather I should say the equivalence classes, under tilde are called components of G. So these are components, but I would also like to mention one thing. Here, when we defined components, they are just subsets of V. That's how we have defined it. But when we talk about components, what we really mean is a graph. So when we say components, or a component of G, what you do is you first pick an equivalence class under this relation tilde. You get a bunch of vertices, and then join all those edges which were present in G. Okay? So yeah, I should take some example here. Somehow I forgot about an example, but anyway, I'll take an example. Just consider this graph. So this is let's say this is our graph. So one component is the following. These two vertices, they constitute a component because they form an equivalence class under the relation tilde. But when we really want to talk about a component, we are not just talking about a set of vertices. We are talking about an entire graph. So which graph? You have these two vertices and now ask, is this edge present in the original graph? It is. So your new graph, or the component which comprises these two vertices, is the graph which has this edge and is residing on these two vertices. The other component is, let me mark it out. So which color is good? Let's say this color. So these blue things, they form a component, but again, when we say a component, we mean this graph that you see, this red thing in this entire graph is the component that is formed by these blue vertices. Right? I forgot about this one. So there are two components in this graph. One is this graph and the other is that graph. So I hope this is clear what is meant by a component. And each component of a graph is itself a connected graph. Okay? So it's a very simple fact. Each component this is immediate from the definition of a component. Okay. So enough of this. We come back to our puzzle. We have these 9 cities and we have a rule to decide if one can go from one city to another using airplanes. So we just think of the cities as dots, and now we will develop a graph on it, basically prescribe an edge structure on this vertex set of 9 vertices. So since one can go from city 1 to city 2, because 12 is divisible by 3, we join an edge. One can't go from 1 to 3. 13 is not divisible by 3. 14 is not, but 15 is. So we will join an edge. And 16 is not, 17 is not, but 18 is. So we will join an edge. And going this way, we will be able to make a graph on this vertex set. And if you complete this, you get this picture. So this captures exactly which cities have airplane routes between them. 8 and 4 have because they have an edge between them, but 8 and 5 do not have a direct airplane route because there is no edge between them. However, you can still take a path consisting only of airplane routes. Right? So now, if you just isolate the components of this graph, there are 2 components in this graph. Again, maybe let's label them. So this is one component. And this is another component. So this is just a matter of computation. You can easily check that these 2 colors, mark out the 2 components. One is by the orange vertices and the other by the blue vertices. So we see that 1 and 9 are in different components, and therefore one cannot travel from 1 to 9 using only airplane routes. So that's a very nice way to argue this. You could have argued this without even knowing anything about graphs, but I think explaining this in terms of graphs makes it completely clear. Okay, so with that, I want to end this lecture. As usual, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you next time.